For favorite social welfare topic not covered in our Popple and Leininger textbook, I chose How War and Combat Affect U.S. Soldiers and Veterans of War in Relation to Social Welfare. I've always thought this was a greater social welfare issue than portrayed, but the results of my research were pretty eye-opening. Like so many, I have a personal connection to a war veteran, and I have witnessed personally a lot of the struggles and challenges he has faced, and continues to face even after being home after a few years. Personally, I was surprised that this topic was not covered in the book, as it is a huge cause for need of social welfare programs and very common right now. The United States military has been involved in conflicts pretty consistently since the mid-1700s. Over time, there were many small conflicts and wars, but the 1900s started the beginning of a series of major wars and conflicts that have kept our soldiers engaged in battle for almost the entire century and beyond. Most currently, the War on Terror, also known as Operation Enduring Freedom, started with soldier deployment in 2001 and continues still to this day. This war has had a huge impact on social welfare in our country over the past decade. Social welfare programs that assist soldiers and veterans are in high demand, and the need becomes greater and greater. Veterans of war and soldiers returning from deployment face a very challenging readjustment period from military to civilian life. There are many risk factors that lead to a plethora of issues that may lead to the need of social welfare programs, specifically for the military culture. Common problems veterans and soldiers returning home from deployment face: mental health issues, trouble readjusting to civilian life, post-traumatic stress disorder, high rates of suicide and attempted suicide, substance addiction, poverty, homelessness, temporary or permanent disability due to injury, and divorce. Some of the mental health issues they may have are severe depression, severe anxiety, adjustment disorders, acute stress disorder, post-traumatic stress disorder, insomnia, and severe night terrors. Veterans make up 4.6% of the males over 18 with serious mental illness. %63% of homeless male veterans and 77% of homeless female veterans have post-traumatic stress disorder. You can visit the Substance Abuse and Mental Health Services Administration's website at www.samhsa.gov for more information and resources that help with mental illness and substance abuse specifically for veterans. Left untreated, these mental health issues can spiral out of control and lead the soldiers and veterans to attempting and succeeding in suicide. Veteran suicide rates are 3 times higher than the general public. Veterans Affairs estimated 4 to 5 veterans commit suicide daily. 1,000 veterans attempt suicide monthly. These statistics were shockingly high to me and seems like an area that needs more focus socially. Another common problem is injury. Common injuries include post-traumatic stress disorder, traumatic brain injury, amputations, and various illness. Over 47,566 soldiers have been wounded in action. Oftentimes, coping with all of these challenges can be very stressful. Some turn to drugs and alcohol as a way to cope and creating and contributing to even more problems. "8% of males over 18 are veterans with substance addiction. Veterans Affairs offers a treatment program that includes intensive therapy, in- and outpatient services, and relapse prevention. In this study done by the SAMHSA, you can see the substance abuse among veterans versus among the general population. Notice the trend in alcohol use. It is the most popular and one of the only substances used by more vets than non-vets. Many of these issues I have covered are also factors that can lead to poverty and homelessness. 13% of the homeless population are veterans. 1.5 million veterans are at risk for poverty. HUD estimates there are 62,619 homeless veterans on any given night. Veterans make up 1/3 of the homeless population. 12,700 homeless are veterans of the Iraq and Afghanistan wars alone. These numbers are shocking to me and would be to most people. Most veterans are entitled to benefits that assist with education, home loans, career opportunities, pension, and disability. This would lead you to believe they would be at lower risk when in fact the physical and mental toll military culture and combat can have beat out the programs. They simply aren't strong enough in some cases. Veterans report high instances of health and mental health problems, limited resources, lack of knowledge about resources, negative public perspective and treatment, in addition to the large amount of stress they are under. This study shows the effects that the current war have on the homeless. Almost 6,000 Iraqi war veterans are homeless in addition to the over 3,000 non-vets who are homeless due to the effects of this war. "22,000 veterans were assisted in 2011, merely a fraction of those in need. 30.2% of veterans are currently unemployed. It's hard for them to find work when the military skills aren't useful in civilian life." The government has reported that the number of U.S., Iraq, and Afghanistan war veterans who are homeless has doubled in the past 2 years. President Obama is aware and has a campaign in conjunction with the Veterans Affairs Bureau to eliminate homelessness for veterans by 2015. Currently, the conflicts are slowing down and soldiers are steadily returning home in large numbers. These trends we have reviewed will continue to be an issue. Timothy Lineberry, MD, and clinical psychiatrist at the Mayo Clinic states, even though large-scale operations in Iraq and Afghanistan are ending, the effects of the mental health and active duty service members, reservists, and veterans are just beginning to be felt. Being part of the military culture can make returning to civilian life and facing these issues even harder. The expectations put on our service members is that they are tough mentally and physically and can handle their issues on their own. This makes soldiers and veterans feel ashamed of their weaknesses and keeps them from getting the treatment they need. Lack of public knowledge, may also affect these outcomes. Society knows what is expected of our service members. They understand to a point that they have to see and do things most of us could not even imagine to keep us safe and free. What society doesn't understand is the toll it takes on our soldiers and veterans. They make a great sacrifice in their lives to protect ours, and I feel we owe it to them to step up as a society and make their needs a priority, spread awareness, and advocate for improvement.